felt so nice, that he, with all this busy schedule, he takes time to be with his children and to teach them music. And they took part in the competition last year. So he is the one Father Varghese was admitted with. So Dr. Anthony will enlighten us on coronavirus. Please write your questions at the side of the messages, and then later on we'll have a question answer. Okay, Dr. Anthony, we welcome you. Praise the Lord.
Thank you, Vijay brother. Hope you
Welcome,
can hear
welcome,
me.
welcome, welcome. So nice to have you today. Please go
Hope
right
you can
ahead.
hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you very clear, loud and clear.
First and foremost, let me thank the Vijay brother and the upper ministry team for giving me this opportunity.
So nice.
And something I feel that I have been quite successful one way, because Vijay brother felt that I am very busy. And
you are.
My acting busy he has taken it quite seriously. Thank you, Vijay brother, for that. And now, why this topic? Actually, we are dealing with, I know now the word, any newspaper, anywhere, anyone talk about, even the prayer meetings, everything is about Corona. And I've been fortunate enough to work very closely with this since last 3 months, actually from the beginning of March. And initially, how the doctors, the nurses, our team was, including myself, we did not know how to handle this thing and the fear within us. And then how slowly we have been able to get over that fear.
There is a request, doctor, that you should speak a little louder.
Okay. Is it okay now?
That is better. That is better.
Okay, I will hold it like this.
Yeah.
I will hold it like this.
Yeah,
and one more thing, I will increase the volume also.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay. So now almost 3 months period, we have changed. The doctors who have been handling, the nurses who have been handling, and we have changed because we started realizing the facts as facts. So this session basically is to percolate the facts in that way. It is not to induce further fear, and in fact, it is not a pandemic now, it is a feardemic now. Across the globe, what is happening, it is a feardemic and infodemic, that too misinformations which are carrying around. So this is basically, I'm not going to talk much about virus or, you get enough information of that by Google tip. But, the fear factor which is affecting us, that is the biggest enemy which is against us today. So now, just to start with, why this fear factor? It is basically quite a lot. It is the media projection, and to a great extent, the awareness. Now, you see, I don't think around 20 years back, we could have met like this in the Zoom and discussed something. But the same media is used to, promote not only this, in the newspapers and so on, has been used to give wrong information and to build fear in us. This is what I really want to focus on today. Now, from the media, it is clear that almost 5 million cases have been detected across the globe, and almost 2 million cases 2.5 million have recovered, and nearly 3 lakhs have, unfortunate ones, they have, left abroad. So almost 3 lakhs of them have died. Now just go to the US. This thing, almost 1.5 million people have been affected in the last 3 months period, and 1.3 lakh have recovered, and around 32,000, around 3 lakhs have recovered, and almost 1 lakh people have died. I just want to ask one question. Do you know how many people have died of influenza virus? That is the common cold, influenza virus in US in the year 2018. In the year 2018
lakh.
itself, almost 3 lakhs people, that is the primary diagnosis, almost 1.5 people have primary diagnosis as influenza, and another 1.5 of them has influenza with so many other comorbidities, that failure, this failure, diabetes, and so on. Now see, 3 lakh people have died because of influenza. Meanwhile, this infection has caused only 1 lakh death in US. And, meanwhile, majority of them are, on the verge of on the recovery also. But why this factor, this has happened in a span of hardly 3 months period. In January end also and February beginning also, the statement from US states that it is not fearsome.
Doctor, please hold the mic closer.
Yeah, in Italy again, in Italy again, the kind of death, the media, the projection, the people are on the roadside lying down. All this, all these were fake news, which probably we have not realized that, and these have created fear within us. Can you hear me properly
Yes,
now? When I hold this like this, yes. Okay. Now see, this is actually, imagine why this is happening, because this is a new virus. And then another factor which is causing the fear is the kind of information given. You have to wear full cover yourself on a plastic cover from head to down, and you cannot even wear your shoes. You cannot touch a newspaper. You cannot do that. Don't do this thing. When the milk comes, you should you should pour with the Dettol, and then only you should take these kind of informations. These kind of informations, there is no scientific basis behind this. Yes, one thing is clear, it is a droplet infection. It is not a aerosol oriented infection. It is not a, like a common cold and all. The virus is easily there in the air. It is not that kind of infection. It is a droplet infection. When we cough, when we sneeze directly, when we, the vomitus directly spreading on, this can, if that is taken into our upper respiratory tract or the mucous membrane, then there is a possibility that it can affect some people. That I will come to that to some extent after some time. So now, then another, the factor which that is worrisome is the lockdown. Why this lockdown? Lockdown is not to prevent this infection. This is a new virus, and people do not have immunity to coronavirus so far. So because of that, it will spread very fast. So in order to avoid that, the lockdown has been prepared. Now, see, imagine 1,000 cases in a day versus 1,000 cases in a week. Which is better? Definitely in a 1,000 cases in a week, or if you can extend it to 1,000 cases in a month, that is much better. So it is, this is the way to spread the to reduce the spread of infection. That is one thing. Second is to educate people what to do, what not to do, to change our culture, especially our social behaviors, wherein which we all used to gather together, and marriage, all these so many social gatherings, club, theater, wherein which we didn't had any control on this. Now see, we have totally changed. Our behaviors have changed. The world needed some better breathing space, and we have changed, and the world has changed for the better. So see how it has helped us in this way. It is because of the lockdown. That is why the lockdown is introduced. It is not. This is not a permanent solution, and no country is going to have the lockdown for more than some more period. Some countries it may continue for some more time for their preparedness. Now itself, now see the Italy has with all this around, they started the people and from the various countries they started moving out. Now why this much death in Italy? Because they were not aware of it and there was no lockdown, because that was one of the initial region which was affected. The lockdown was not in place in that region. So because of that, the exposure rate was very high, and almost 80% of the deaths happened over there were those above age 70 and 80 years above, with the multiple comorbidities like diabetes, hypertension, uncontrolled, under treatment. And in fact, the geriatric population, the old age population over there is almost 25 to 30% is old age population. That is also another reason. In a region like India or in UAE, India, almost 2/3 of the population is of young age. Here in this region where we are in UAE, the old age people above 75 is, or above 70 is hardly say around 5% or less than that. That's basically because of the expatriate, mostly the working class is over here, and among the nationals and so on. So that generally these are some of the reasons. Then the mask, the mask, the way in which the price of the mask has exponentially increased, even for us, the inavailability of PPE. Then nowadays, even the news, it's like this: is this PPE, all these protective gears, whether they are originally required? In that way, we started to think now, rather than the adding more PPE and so on. These are all the scientific based studies also in order of this thing. So now this is now related to see the why lockdown. Then another factor, no definite medicine. Yes, till now there is no definite medicine, but we do, for a case with which require medicines, we have definitely effective medicines are available, including the simple inexpensive medicines to very expensive medicines, and some of the antivirals are also found to be useful, including the ones which have been used for HIV and sometimes even the simple chicken pox and so on. They are all found to be useful in this case also. So some medicines are there. The third factor is the vaccine. There is no vaccine available as of now. For coronavirus is a new virus, so we have not developed any vaccines for corona as of now. We know it is corona is a RNA virus. Luckily, the common cold, influenza, then SARS, hepatitis C, Ebola, rabies, polio, measles, these are all RNA viruses. They do have some or other kind of vaccines available. But there are also some of them, SARS, hepatitis B, C and all, do not have any proper vaccines so far. So it is possible, it may be possible to develop some vaccines soon. But that's not what we are going to depend on. We have something else to focus on. Then, so these are, the factors which has caused to build the fear in us. Now, I'll just mention something more about the management or the case factors. Almost 80 to 90% of the population, they are asymptomatic. Like, how we get exposed to a influenza virus or common cold virus, it can affect, if there are 10 people in the office, it can affect 1 or 2, the rest all will get spared, and they may be asymptomatic or it may not affect them at all. Similarly, almost now with the current experience, we can say that around 80 to 90% of the PCR positive cases, they are asymptomatic. Hardly 10 to 15% will have mild to moderate symptom. and 5 to 10%. This varying from country to country depending upon the population. That is why this much variation is there. If it is a place with more of old age population, then it can the severe symptoms, those with the severe symptoms can be more. And hardly 1% of them across the globe will unfortunate death is recorded. And in the hospital, the death rate recorded within the hospital is hardly 3%. That is, in the hospital, we admit only moderate to severe cases and those who require, and very few of them require ventilator support. But some factor unknown, sometimes it affects some individuals drastically, even a young age. We know that it affects those with uncontrolled diabetes, hypertension, we know. But sometimes, youngsters do not have any other problem. They die of the disease. And probably one of the core factor is the fear. So what happens with fear is that the fear reduces our immunity. The fear, when there is fear, when we get stressed out, when we are in the traffic jam, there is something, sometimes, something we feel that something is coming up from our, from our abdominal area, and we feel a kind of, breathlessness, that kind of state. Same happens during fear also. It is because of one hormone, adrenaline. See, this reduces the immunity also. In these people, mostly, if you review the history, they were very well scared, and some of them, they closed down within the room, and because of that fear, and no one to convey this to them, and that is the main reason for having this excessive symptoms and unfortunate cases of death recorded in these cases. So that is one area of, we need to understand that. Then old age, they need to be careful. In fact, that's also those who are taking care of themselves well, many of them have recovered quite well, even with people of 90 years and so on. Those who have been taking care of them properly, they have recovered quite well. That is another, it again indicates that we need to make some change within ourselves. That is something important. With children, I will call this a very gentle virus. It's not a harsh virus or a, harsh disease like a chikungunya or SARS or a Nipah or a Ebola or any of those things. This is a very gentle virus. You have, first and foremost, you have to go out and invite it. Otherwise, it won't come to you. So you have to open yourself and invite it. Then only it will come to you. Then second thing, it is very mild on children and pregnant women generally. And so far with the limited history, it do not cause any teratogenic effects that we, so far with the limited, this is more from the Chinese experience only, because in China only almost 7 or 8 months over. With that, the ultrasound follow-up do not show any increase in fetal malformations. That has not been recorded so far for those who have been affected in their early pregnancy also. Yes, some miscarriages have happened, but that is also not very high. That is also not considering the other reasons, it is not at all high. Then with children, especially in India, in this region, Philippines, and so on, our children are exposed to more kind of normal bacteria and viruses. In such children, this is very mild. But meanwhile, it has caused some condition called as a Kwashiorkor-like condition, where in which the vessels will have some kind of major vessels will have a kind of dilatation and so on, and death also has caused in children. These are the children who are not exposed to the normal bacteria and viruses around. Instead, they have been vaccinated and vaccinated and vaccinated. For everything is through vaccine. So, the natural immunity building, this is the importance of building natural immunity for both children as well as adults. So build your natural immunity. That is quite important. Old age also, they should be careful. So now the lockdown, once the lockdown is over, now in majority of our countries, the region where we are, the lockdown is getting to be over soon. So then also the people of, those who are above 70 and so on, I will not even say 60, because I do have doctors working in the forefront who are above 60, and they are, who take care of themselves well. They are all doing well. So I will say those who are about 70 years with uncontrolled diabetes and hypertension and or some renal failure or something like that, they should be little bit more cautious during this period, and they may require medical support if it is required. Otherwise, for youngsters, this is not a problem. Youngsters, I mean, now see, I'm reaching 50 soon, so I feel now 50 is just an, in my younger days, I used to feel 50 means something, it is a very big old age. That's the way it has been projected to me in my younger days. So I used to feel that it is a very old age. Now I feel it is little bit an extension of my puberty only. So, so we need to, so that this age which we are in, it's a right thing wherein which we need to learn to take things in the way they are. So this is about the managing, and luckily after Italy, in China, from China, probably, unfortunately, this is not against any country, I am saying that. See, after this, so many ventilators have been, after this Chinese experience, they were trying to sell all the ventilators, rapid kits, and so on, and the PPEs and so on, rather than giving the right information about the disease. Only from Italy, we learned the real, autopsies have been done, the proper studies have been done, what happens. Now, today, we know what exactly happens in the body, and how previously we thought it is a respiratory disease. It is not a respiratory disease. Only thing is that the lung is involved more than any other organ. So we can, but mainly it is affecting the immunity. That is because since it is a new virus, when we get exposed to this virus, we have WBCs in us generating cytokines and antibodies against all kind of bacteria and virus. Since this is a new virus, our immune system do not know how to handle it. So it produces excessive amount of cytokines, and so this is causing. That is why it is called as, our soldiers are. If they are not focused, and then they are using their guns without knowing where to shoot, that kind of system has happened. That is called as the cytokine storm within us. Then in addition to that, it affects the wall of the endothelial lining surface of the blood vessels. So it is activating some of the coagulation mechanism. And now we started treating, and we started realizing who all need treatment. We know what if for a person, we know how to judge the symptoms now, whether he is going, such a person will develop a severe infection, a critical infection. We know we need to do the test like CRP, procalcitonin, interleukin 6, or we know D dimer and so on, and we can state clearly what will happen to this person after 3 days and after 5 days, and accordingly we learn to design our treatment now. So now our awareness on this disease has drastically improved, and that is going to affect the healthcare. So what now? This much about the broad perspective of the happenings so far. Now let me, what we need to do for the future before what we need to do. Corona is not going to be a disease like Nipah or SARS or MERS, like it just comes here and there and then it will disappear. Then it may re-emerge sometime. No, it's not like that. It is going to stay with us, and we have to face this in our day-to-day life. like how we are facing HIV, tuberculosis, or a malaria, or hepatitis B infection. In the same way, this is going to be there, and we need to learn to face it. So each one of us, don't think that, okay, I will keep the mask and sit in my room for a few days, and then I will be fine after some time. No, this is going to be there. This is going to stay with us. We will we will outsmart Corona soon. All of us will outsmart Corona. So for that, what we need to do, first and foremost, avoid negativity. Even in our the songs and media, and when we project, avoid people with the sufferings. You need to project people whom the God has healed them. So we need to project that even in our media which we use now, and avoid reading and avoid watching those things. If we realize that this is going to cause a concern in a fear in our, it depends on individuals. If it is going to cause a fear in it, avoid it. Avoid negativity, because that will reduces our immunity. That is one thing. Few things to do to improve, simple things. Now, first and foremost, respiratory system and gastric system. These are the two systems through which we develop our immunity properly. Respiratory, we cannot do much because the dust, all those things. But one thing is, we can improve our immunity by taking care of our intestinal aspect, or the gut immunity. First and foremost, the water. Generally, we gulp water. That is the major culprit. If after drinking water, if the air is coming out, that means, if there is a gas formation, that's we are drinking it in the wrong way. Instead, we need to sip by sip, we need to drink water. That is why they say, eat your liquid and drink your solid. Is that clear?
Yes,
eat
yes.
your eat your liquid and drink your solid. The solid ones you need to chew well, and they should become in a liquid state before we, so how much time we spend, rather than grabbing all those things like a glutton, how slowly and softly we deal with it. Coming back to water again, early morning when we get up, drink 2 glasses of water. People say drink 5 liters of water, 3 liters of water. No, nothing like that. It depends on each individual, how we work out, how we spend time outside. What we need to see is, at least twice in a day, we need to pass clear urine. At least, if not at least once in a day, we should pass clear urine. Once that is done, that means that our and rest of the time it should be light colored to yellowish colored. If we pass urine every time, clear urine, again we are losing very important electrolytes in our body, potassium, further defect to us. So make sure that at least once or twice in a day we pass clear urine. That is the amount of water we need to take in a day. Then, especially now considering our upper respiratory tract, gargling is a good way. Gargling with turmeric and a little salt in it. It is not that, in a excessive distaste or anything. Something which is in a pleasant manner. Add some turmeric and salt, and then gargle. Only when you have symptom, when you have sore throat, when there is a congestion in the chest, you feel that time only you need to go for steam inhalation with any of those things. Don't make it a habit of having steam inhalation regularly. That is not good. Then depend on natural food, especially avoiding too much of carbohydrates, and to some extent make sure that enough dietary fibers are taken, vegetables and fish. oriented diet. Do not mean that avoid chicken, mutton, or those things, but your diet should, the more we should focus on this to improve our gut immunity. Then supplements, those you feel that generally supplements are required only if there is a deficiency. Otherwise, take in mild doses. And some supplements like lime juice, B complex, these are water soluble. Vitamin C, these are water soluble. So even if you take a little in excess, it will not cause any harm. You will pass, your urine will become little expensive. That's all. Otherwise, it may not cause you any harm. But fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A, D, and so on, until and unless without proper precautions, avoid taking it, or without proper verifications. Hypervitaminasis is more problematic. Regular exercise, including breathing exercise. These two are very important. I will not spend much time on it, whatever way you prefer, but it need to be done on a regular basis. That is very important. Exercise, I will not spend much time on it. Another important aspect is sunbathing. Sunbathing is very important. Getting exposed to the sunlight at least 3 to 4 times in a week. We need to get exposed to sunlight. Now, see, a person like me getting exposed to the sunlight daytime, it won't make much difference. But when we get exposed sunlight, the better regions are the shoulder region, which is generally covered, and the back region, which the back of the body, if you can get a chance. Otherwise, at least the shoulder region should be exposed. And only when we go out for such region, what we wear in the beach, we should not wear to the outside for sunlight. But in the beach, that wear is acceptable. And when we are in such a place, we can expose ourselves. Why I have mentioned about it is, another important aspect in our life is what we attract in our life. If we attract good thoughts, the Psalms 23 says, goodness, mercy, and strength of the Lord shall follow me all the days of my life. So that, if we attract goodness within ourselves, that helps out. That's what we can. Same way, what we attract, how we get the attraction of the people around us, whether they look at us with our dressing, our body style, whether they look at us with respect or with with bad intentions on us. So this is again what we attract in life. Next thing, very important for improving our immunity, is the fasting and abstinence. There is a difference between these two words, fasting and abstinence. Fasting is avoiding food. Ramadan fasting. Usually what we follow is abstinence. Whatever you like the most, you avoid. So that is the basic principle. It can be meat, it can be cigarette smoke, it can be something which we watch in our video or so. So that is, that's what we become. Meanwhile, the best form is, we use the term upavasa in all our terms. This term is used, upavasa. Upa means myself, vasa means living within myself, or within ourselves. So this upavasa is, yes, not just about avoiding some food. We are also getting within ourselves to we are realizing ourselves. That is the upavasa. And meanwhile, skipping meals, even prolonged fasting for 11 hours, even if you are of the right age, avoiding even water for 11 years, 11 hours to 12 hours is really good. Now, if from there, now what is going to happen in the future? So this is something which we can take care without fear. We need future is, this is, Corona is going to be there. We are going to face it. We all will, once the government restrictions are over, we are going to face that in the right manner without any fear. And then the Bible. Let me conclude with my on this session with what Jesus has said. With all thy strength, with all thy mind, with all thy heart, and with all thy soul. You have to love thy God. That is what the Bible says. See, Jesus says about 4 aspects of life. One is with all thy strength. The strength is related to our physical aspect of our body. Second is with all thy mind. It is about our handling our mind, how we handle our mind. That is with all thy mind. With all thy heart. It is about, heart is the seat of relationship, our social aspect, how well we deal with others around us. The starting from our relation at home to our neighbors, to the people around, to the to the society, our responsibility to the society. So with all thy heart, and then with all thy soul, how well we spiritually handle it. Now, this Jesus has said there are 2000 years back. Now, if you go back and search the Google for the definition of health by WHO, it will give you 4 components. Health is defined as the physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being of an individual, of an human being. Again, physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being. So with this 4 aspect, how Jesus has said, with this four aspect, we will face this corona also. Thank you.
Very nice, Doctor. We welcome Dr. Lucas also, who is there from Russell Kema. If you see him, he's totally all covered up there. We welcome you, brother. Can you say a few words?
Yeah, I just came in because you told me Anthony is there just to say hi. I just took few minutes from my work time.
Very nice.
Just to say hi. I'm okay. I'm at work.
Do you want to add anything to what Dr. Anthony said just now?
No, he was mentioning about the first commandment and the definition of health and a realization of the soul and spirit self, in addition to the body and mind.
Correct.
Greetings to him. All the best to him. He's doing a wonderful job. And thanks. I just peeped in to say hi. And to...
So sweet. So sweet of you. Thank you very much. And keep up the good
thank
work
you, Lucas.
you're
Thank
really
you, Dr. Lucas. Thank you, Lucas.
God bless you. Okay, we have questions now coming up.
If Dr. Lucas can join me, it will be good for that.
He's on duty. I think he's busy. But if he can join us, nothing like it,
Yeah, sure.
See, Doctor, whatever I've got on messages, I'll give it open afterwards. But I'll give you a question, answer that. There is one homeopathic medicine, arsenisum album 30, which is good for avoiding the virus. How effective is this medicine? How effective is homeopathy?
Okay. First and foremost, I am not that experienced in homeopathy, but however, arsenicum, that medicine I know very well.
Oh, okay.
Because arsenicum was there, arsenic as such was used by modern medicine earlier, and it is still there in the British pharmacopoeia for at least around 15 years or 17 years back. Also, it was there in the British pharmacopoeia. They were still using that.
Okay.
See, arsenicum is a good vasomodulator. It's a metal which is a good vasomodulator, and this I have mentioned that this is the coronavirus affects the vasculature. So as it's a vasomodulator. Yeah. Meanwhile, the problem with this is if in the homeopathy, what they do is totally different. They have diluting, and if that is properly done, very minimal as per their concept, very as per the concept. I also sometimes use homeopathy. I have to admit that, and for my children also I use homeopathy, but very cautiously it should be done, because in diluting system, if it is followed properly, that may not have the toxic effect of the arsenic properly. But if it is for immediate effect, some may give the arsenic as such, like that. Arsenic is highly toxic. In India, we have something called as Navapashanas, 9 poisons. And in that 9 poisons, this is used by Unani medicine, Siddha, and also to some extent even in the homeopathy, these Navapashanas. These are all, we call them as trace elements. Trace elements means very minimal, the bromide, silica, magnesium. So all in very minimal dosage only it should be there in our body. In excess of that, or if it is very less also, it can cause problem. In excess of that, it can be more toxic. It can cause renal failure. It can cause the various conditions. So when you are taking it, make sure that it is taken, that such a medicine is taken from the right people. Don't just depend on the name alone.
Okay, thank you, doctor. We come to the second question is from Sunita. First one is from Monica. Second is from Sunita. She says, Dr. Anthony, before traveling by flight, how does any adult who has asthmatic problem take precautionary measure? As I heard that most of the coronavirus infected people, 1 minute, who travel by air. Is it true?
See, asthma is one of the comorbidities. So if you have severe asthma, and if it is, if you get coronavirus with severe asthma, then that can cause problem. Moderate to mild asthmatic cases which are under control, even whether traveling or so, there are no normal precautions which have to be taken. That is the proper mask. Why we wear mask? It is not to, just to prevent coronavirus. Even if we are having, since it is a droplet infection, when we use that surgical mask, something, the mask usage I want to state, when we use the surgical mask, when we inspire, the air gets in through the mask. It is filtered and gets inside through the mask. And in the surgical mask, when we expire, the air expels out through the sides. So this is basically.
Hello.
This is, sorry.
Yeah. No,
I always use my hand too much. So
no problem, okay. Please.
This is basically to, prevent the droplets from us coming out, as well as somebody else's droplets directly getting into. So wear the mask, and then, the gloves, it should be used for specific purpose. Like when you are doing a surgery, or when you are handling a sample or so, not for regular purpose like this. And probably, walking around the streets with gloves and touching everything, that is not going to help us at all. So, but, that are the norms and regulations. If it is specified, follow that also. But, wearing a gloves, and then with that you are touching your hair, face, body, everywhere, then that is not going to help. So these two precautions, plus asthmatic should have their general medications which they are following, and it do not prevent them from traveling.
All right, doctor. We have Sister Glenda from the HSI who says, Dear doctor, what was the cause for COVID-19? How did it come about?
So I'm sure sister wanted to know whether it is a biological warfare, or whether China or America or some country has planned it. This is exactly what Trump also want to know. Okay. Okay, so we all are in the same boat. But one thing which from the previous history, even though I studied my basics of medicine in 86, 87, 88, 89. I mean, just started my basic of medicine. That time onwards, we study a name called coronavirus. We don't learn anything further of it. And we have been told that it's a virus limited to the mostly to the animals. Very rare cases have been mentioned. In that way only, till recently, we used to study till the SARS and MERS came out. They are also coronavirus. This is called SARS-2. That is why the same virus is called SARS-2 also. Meanwhile, generally, this coronavirus do not spread to the human beings. So this is a virus which spread commonly to the animals. What caused it to mutate that fast? Usually the mutations are not that fast. What mutation has caused to affect human beings? And we are again very fortunate this virus is not spreading to the animals. In fact, animals, this why it's that is their common reserve. The birds, the bat, the cat, dogs, the tiger, to everything, they are the common reserves. Why this is not affecting them back? Is it because the immunity they have already have, or this has been designed to affect human beings alone? We cannot give an answer now. This all may come out in the future, but at this state, our concern is not to bother about all those things. Our concern is how we can get over this rather than that getting over us. So let's I hope that answer that.
I just have a question to go on that what you answered just now. So you mean to say no animals? There is no problem with animals around. They do
See,
not.
very rare animals. This virus has been transferred so far.
Okay.
I mean, it is the one tiger or some rare cats.
Okay.
If this would have been a virus that is affecting animals, by now we would have been forced to kill half of the animal population in this world.
Yes, I know because I saw a video where truckloads of pig in China were all dumped into a big pit and they were set on fire. So I was wondering whether it was something to do with the catching onto it.
See, so much of fear have been generated by that. So many of those activities.
Yeah.
Let's get over those things, and you know, uh, let's. We need to acknowledge one thing: the animals are better human beings than the human beings these days.
Okay. Tell me something. Just now you said while you're talking, there is no question of this virus spreading in the air, correct?
It is not like that. It is not unlike our common cold.
Yeah.
That virus is very, the rhinovirus, influenza virus. They are very the weightless. I can just use that. So it is just spreads in the air like that. This do not float in the air like that. This
Okay.
is so when the droplets coming out, a portion of when you cough from that sneeze. So till that, and then it falls down. That's it. That's pressure, and then it falls on. That is why the mask is used to prevent that. Any kind of mask is used to prevent that.
Okay.
Properly.
Then what about people is to say that whatever footwear you wear, you carry it around. Is that true?
It may be true. It could be, but there is no definite,
True.
definite proven study to say that has been spread through this. It is there all around. Not
Okay.
just your shoes, not on through the milkman who brings the milk, not on the newspaper. It may be there,
Yeah.
but if we start sanitizing all those things, then there is no end to it. One or other day that is going to affect. We need to get, and whether you develop symptom or you fall into the 99% of the category, or 90% of the category, and then the second in the 9% of the category, or that 1% of category. Now, what are we going to focus on? our mind should be focused on, that we falling into the 90% of the category.
Correct. You're talking about senior citizens affected mostly. They have to be very careful. But children are okay, isn't it?
Children, I'm not saying that they are okay. They have been, so far, it is, it has affected only children. Some rare cases have been mentioned. Meanwhile, so far, most of them do had some heart problem, renal problem, like, and also rare cases with type 1 diabetes also been affected.
Okay. Now there's a question from Sister Beena. She says, how to improve immunity, and is intermittent fasting good?
Okay, I have given some tips already on the how to build immunity. Probably before that, she might ask this question.
Yeah.
Now, intermittent fasting is, there are multiple kind of fastings are there.
Okay.
Now, why are we doing this fasting? That we need to define that. Now, to build immunity, the intermittent fasting, to a great extent, it is good. That is, when we say skipping the food as well as water for a long period, 11 hours to 12 hours to 14 hours, then what happens is when you skip during the daytime, daytime is the time in which we eat more. And as time passes by, after 11 hours and so on, the body naturally produces a kind of endorphins. These endorphins are generally produced when we are having, during the sexual relationship, the pleasure which is given by that hormone, as well as when we pray. Normally we feel, those who pray well, this endorphin level is higher. And when we walk in with the nature, this endorphin level is higher. The same endorphin is released long time fasting in order to make us, improve ourselves better. So that is a better way to improve our immunity also. But meanwhile, it takes around 11 hours to 12 hours fasting is required to develop that kind of situation also. Meanwhile, the other ways which have been mentioned, they also help us in the same way. So definitely fasting is a very good process.
Fasting is very good. So you recommend fasting to be done by everybody. That is going to be very good.
Definitely.
Okay. Then we have Ingrid Nicholas. Once a person who has passed through COVID-19, affected, and then he comes out of it, does the virus linger? I think he's wanting to ask whether the virus can come back again.
Okay. Recurrence.
See, recurrence.
Yes. As of now, we hardly have 7 months history with this virus, starting from November.
Okay.
So there may be rare case which have come out, something like that. Otherwise, as of now, there is no definite or proven case wherein which that has been recurred in this 7 months period. So we do not know what will happen in the long run. Immunity is provided by mainly two antibodies. One is initial phase, it is the IgM, and the next phase, it is by 30 days, and so we develop a antibody called IgG. So this IgG will remain, as of now, it is stable, and 5 months to 7 months also, it has been quantitatively found out to be on the higher level. So, as of now, we cannot say that whether after 1 year, whether it will come. Now, this is again a RNA virus. So most of the RNA virus, some of them do have long-term immunity. Meanwhile, the rabies, that is also a RNA virus. So they have to take vaccines every year. Influenza is a RNA virus. You have to take only for that season that influenza virus is effective. Meanwhile, polio is another RNA virus. Only in childhood, we take that vaccine. Measles is another RNA virus. We take only by, till the childhood, we take those vaccines. Correct. So, but we do not know long term what will be the immunity status. So we need to wait and see.
Yeah. what is the chance of infection? Tony Kursako is asking, what is the chance infection or traveling on flight when positive person also is traveling? Because I believe the same air is being circulated in the flight.
The same air is circulated now outside also. So there is, anywhere, some social distancing is important.
Yes.
Whether it is when you are traveling, or whether it is at home, you invite all people together, and or you are going to a theater or a shopping mall. Everywhere this is there. So don't, just if you need to travel, travel without fear, travel with the basic precautions which is required, whether in the air or in the metro or in the bus. This need to be followed. That's all.
No.
And also avoid using this mask always. And one important aspect for developing immunity is our regular exposure to virus and bacteria around us. Each time, now see, in this, from my finger itself might have some virus and bacteria around from in my finger, but this need to be exposed to maintain our immune status. If you take all those precautions, we will become like a vegetable kept in the refrigerator. The day we take out, what will happen to the vegetable, the same will happen to us. So we need to get exposed to it and fight it out.
Right. Very good advice. Then, will this virus, Brother Anthony Tauro, he has got two questions. Will this virus remain even after the vaccine is found? How long we have to use the mask is number two. And then, yes, that is the question. Please, can you answer that?
Okay. Will the virus will remain even with the vaccines? Yes, it may remain, but we don't know what kind of vaccine is going to come out. There are three kinds of vaccines available. One is called live attenuated, the TB, vaccine which we take on our left hand. That is a BCG. It is called. That is a live attenuated vaccine. Oral polio is a live attenuated vaccine. Now, with oral polio, if you have taken the proper dose, you will develop immunity and you may not get that disease in the future. Meanwhile, with even though you take this BCG vaccine, still when your immunity goes down, you can still develop a smaller form of tuberculosis in that. So that is one form. Another form is killed, the viral material is killed and used. In that also, there are some of the vaccines which provide long-term immunity, some do not provide long-term immunity. Then the third is the subunit, hepatitis B and all, they are subunit vaccines. So these vaccines also, they are effective. So what kind of vaccine is going to come out, we do not know. It is too early to say whether with the vaccination, whether we can eradicate this. This is, but what we need to understand, this is like a common cold. Only because this common cold we have not been exposed to. So if imagine our hospital capacity is not sufficient to handle even 1% of the population in a place. So imagine if 1% of the population get this disease in a day, and there will not be beds available to handle it. So now that is why this lockdown has been planned. Now slowly, now see all this. If you see the UAE statistics now, almost 700 or 800 cases per day, as well as recovery. That means, the people who have been getting discharged from the hospital also is almost 600 to 700. So it is a balance. But imagine if it is a way in which, almost 1,000 of them are becoming positive, and hardly 5 of them getting discharged from the hospital. Hospital cannot tolerate that. So that is, that is why we have all this kind of system arrangement, and then whether will this get eradicated, as of now, the studies do not support that.
Okay.
We need to fight and we need to live with it.
Okay. The next, this thing is, Dr. Cab, you advise which part of the day is good to fast? Morning, afternoon, or afternoon and night?
See, whether whatever time you fast, always try to take a good breakfast because you need to take this thing. Now you want to fast for lunch period with don't skip your. I will not recommend to avoid your breakfast. Any other thing is possible. Meanwhile, lunch is ideal more because we will not with a breakfast, the lunch will not affect much. At night time before you sleep, also you should have something. Otherwise, you can have a chance to have some hunger pain at night. So to avoid these two, I will suggest daytime fasting is better. That is the time wherein which we require more energy. Meanwhile, there are multiple ways. Now, see, have your breakfast before 8 o'clock or so, and have your dinner after 8 p.m., 12 hours of fasting. And if you want to skip water also, you can skip, but replenish it during the rest of the period. Okay, so you time it what is required, but do not skip your breakfast.
Praise God. Wonderful. Next is Darul. People wash their fruit and vegetable bought from the grocery, then dry them and store them inside. Is this really needed, or just washing before cooking, eating is fine?
Washing need to be done.
Yes.
Washing need to be done, and depending upon the chemicals, if some salt added to wash, it may help out also. Now, whether you store in this thing, whether it will affect dry and all, that is individual preference. But as fresh as you can eat your vegetables, that's much better rather than the cooked vegetables. But that require better precautions. You need to wash it properly. Salt sometimes, there are some solutions to avoid the pesticides as well as sometimes some parasites also can, especially giardiasis and all, which is prevalent here and which is spread through the salad. There are proper precautions should be taken for that.
So, what do you mean salt? What do you mean salt?
The common salt we can use to wash the vegetables.
Okay, okay. So, wash the vegetables in common salt. That is what you mean. Huh?
That is one of the good traditional way of that is you are the salt of the world. The salt.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, salt in little is useful, but too much of salt also will not help. Now see, Vijay brother is one salt around us. Little of Vijay brother around itself makes it very tasty. But if everyone around is like Vijay brother, then it will not be tasty also.
Oh my God. What a different example. I was just really okay, brother. There is another one. What are the precautions to be taken at home? This is from Zakaria. He said, what taken in home quarantine where there are old parents and young children in the same house. It is so very right, old people. How to see that they are also safe, and to see how the children also safe. I think I'm facing the same thing. Yeah.
Very thoughtful question. That is a very good point to bring about.
Yes.
See, when even if you are asymptomatic, when you choose the place for quarantine, if you have a old age, aged parent, or a very young children, pregnant wife, that period, just if you can have, if you can have a separate room, and if you can be quarantined in that way, it is fine. But such cases, it is better if they can be isolated in a hotel. Like I'm talking about the situation here in this region. If there is a hotel, the hotel accommodation, we are also handling somewhere around 300 to 250 beds in our hotel. In hospital is managing that 5-star hotel and so on. So, and also the labor camps also we have quarantined in that way. And so, such cases, better you need to take a decision on that. But at the same time, if the people around are also of the same age group, and if they permit you in that way to be in the same place, that's also fine. But make sure that there is somebody taking care of you and somebody is following up with you. And in case if you have a breathing difficulty you develop during this period, you should be able to communicate it to them and transport you to the right place immediately when it is required. So you need to verify that also when you when you select your place of quarantine. And now a time is coming, we need to build, our focus is to build herd immunity. That means almost 40% to 50% of the people developing immunity. So for that, more youngsters should get this and they should go out. And once they have developed proper immunity, they will not take it to their parents because, the virus should proliferate within us to spread to somebody else. Just because you got exposed to it in the town and then you come back, you can spread it if it is a droplet in your cloth and shoes and so on. It may be possible, but from you, whether it can spread, for that the virus should proliferate within you. As of now, a person who has developed immunity against coronavirus, the 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 virus will not proliferate further with the current data available.
Wonderful, wonderful. Very ideally, this thing is set. But we got to be careful with our senior citizens, and we got to be careful because I've got my mother who's about 80 years old with me. That is one part of it.
Yes, tell that I'll call back. Okay.
Okay. What is the best diet to build immunity? This is something that is going to be a very tough one. Build immunity.
Or see, we can redefine that question in a different way. How
Yeah.
often I can eat KFC? How often I can eat junk food? How often? The question is that actually it
Yeah,
is
yeah,
okay. What food in the sense? How often? See, definitely the natural food, vegetables, fruits, vitamins, and all. See, do not mean that you should skip all these things, but it should not be a habit. It should not be a regular thing. Okay, and once in a blue moon you want to have, once in a birthday you want to have a KFC. Have it, and have it without fear. When we eat this food also, if you are saying that, oh, this is going to develop cholesterol, and you eat, even if it is the best food and you eat it in that way, it is going to cause cholesterol. This is going to cause diabetes, and you eat, even if the best, material in the world you eat, it is going to cause diabetes. So it is that's what is the faith we have. Jesus has rightly said, what kind of faith you have, so that also matter with our immunity also. So you can eat everything, don't skip everything. At the end of the day, we all live for these small pleasures in life, but that should not destroy us, that should not destroy the people around us, that should not destroy the society also. That all you need to do.
Okay, regarding meat, chicken, beef, pork, all these things are there which are available. What do you think should be avoided during this phase? Is it okay that we eat everything?
You mentioned all those three things. I'm just wondering what is there for my dinner today. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Fish is okay, right? Okay.
Now I have mentioned, vegetables, fish. Now see, these are all can be consumed, but it depends on the quantity. And then second thing is how you cook that. These two are important. Meanwhile, chicken, it is farm generated, the kind of hormones which have been given, we all know that. And, especially for children, the hormonal disturbances, uh, immunity, infertility, all these things are very well related to this kind of our food habits after changing our food habits. So need to do not skip that, but careful, too much of it is not the right thing. Pork, whether farm pork or the natural pork, that definitely it makes a it makes a
Difference.
difference. But only thing is, it should be cooked well. There is no definite proven track to say that those who eat pork has chance for more heart like. But when we become a pork, then the chance for developing heart attack is more rather than when we eat the pork appropriately. The same is true with the beef also. If we eat beef, in the right manner, the quantity, it is one thing is the quantity and quality matters for all these things.
Okay. Um, since you mentioned now heart attack, of late I come to know that since people are sitting more on the couch, more on without any activity at home and all that because of the people sitting there, I heard that the rate of heart attacks have gone up. Is it true?
Heart attacks have gone up or gone down?
No, no, gone up.
See, to some extent, it has come down also.
Oh,
And we have not seen, because people started worrying something else. All these days, people used to worry about their heart and heart attack.
yeah.
And but that effect we are yet to see that because of staying back at home and you know from XL changing to XXL, that effect what is going to affect, that is yet to see that. Meanwhile, in the from our cardiologist, this what they have mentioned is that kind of cases are reduced basically because of the fear of that has been, we diverted our fear to something else, probably that reason.
Okay, okay. KFC and fast foods are handled by so many people. Remember, this is what Ingrid Nicholas says. And then Blondel de Cruz says, what about dairy products? Again,
Dairy products, see, the milk which we get is definitely altered. It is not the milk in the right way, which we used to get earlier. So it may not be the having the right constituents as before. Now the calcium is added, vitamin D is added, the fat is taken out. This is like any other formula preparations which you have. So
yeah.
that is one of the reason now the milks for some, it can cause various kind of allergy and intolerance and so on. If you are having a gastric discomfort, but we cannot avoid it. If you're having a gastric discomfort, then there are ways to test that whether you are, your allergy and intolerance can be tested. But the best thing is you avoid it and see how your stomach is responding to. Then curd is a better form for such people. But the better format for, for the diary, this thing is alternatives like soya bean, almond, and then instead of milk, paneer, uh, and cheese, going for tofu, soya bean curd, all these things are also alternatives, better options, which probably a dietitian can explain better. And that need to be, especially those who have some kind of intolerance, they need to focus on that.
Well, the last one I'll ask you. Just now I got a question uh, now from Sarita. What she says is, COVID has helped to reduce weight because body is relaxed, more sleep, eat on time. Do you think that is correct?
Wonderful. That's it depends on how you have decided to face this period. If you have decided to face it in the way in which the sister has mentioned, that
Okay.
it has affected, the weight reduction will happen. You find time for yourself. You can exercise at your home, and if there is a balcony, you can get exposed to sunlight. All these, some people, if the possibility to get back to basic our basic profession, that is the agriculture. If we can do plant something, all those things really has helped people to improve. Meanwhile also, this has been a reason for people to stay back, lead a sedentary life, and there is nothing to do, that kind of feeling. So it depends on us how we have decided to face this.
Okay. Now of late, instead of taking the paper mask, the cloth mask. Okay. This is by again Ingrid. They say that this mask, sorry, Anthony is from Anthony. Mask is continued for a long time because it lasts longer. So people take that, wash it, use it, wash it, use it. Is that better or the paper mask is better?
The surgical mask is definitely better, but that's not a solution for everything. Cloth mask you are using, I mentioned the surgical mask when you inspire, it filters the air from outside. And
Yes.
when we exhale, it spreads, the air goes out through the sides. So this is to prevent, the droplets spreading outside as well as the outside virus, even if they're through a droplet, if it is coming directly, it will not come to us directly. Meanwhile, cloth mask use is that basically if a droplet is coming and falling on us, there is a possibility it can still come inside because
Yes.
the cloth will not protect in that way. But when we cough, when we sneeze and so on, the droplets will not go out to the other people around us. So the cloth mask is mostly you are going to protect other people. You are concerned about other people also. Meanwhile, the surgical mask, because of that function, it will help us to do in the both way. But whatever it is, using some kind of mask when you are in close contact with the general public at this stage is useful.
Okay. One last question Blondel has asked is, a person who is having diabetes, can they go for walks in the morning or evening in this time? Is it advisable?
This is the time they have to go for walk if that, the local rules permit that.
Yeah.
When they go out, they should take some precautions, especially the mask and so on when they are in the corridor and so on. Meanwhile, a corridor lift and so on. Meanwhile, in the garden, they should pull down. And when you pull down the mask, do not touch the mask in the front and back. You have to fiddle with in that elastic only, pull out and then keep it in that way so that you will not touch the front and back side of the mask anytime. Only through that string you should handle. And
Just
keep the mask down and then go for the walk. You get some, but if it is crowded, wear the mask. Otherwise, if not crowded, so the early morning and so on, you can definitely go for walk. Diabetic should definitely go for it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. You've been very helpful. I mean, a lot of questions have been answered. I need everybody to clap for our Dr. Anthony, who's come.
When you're walking, it's a crowded area, so where you want to put it?
Thank you.
So you go for there and walking, if you find this thing,
Thank you very much. Much time with us. And I think the next phase of coronavirus, whatever happens in about another 15 days, we'll again call you back so that we know new developments have come. And supposing the vaccine has come, okay, what do we do after this? That is the next phase. But you've been very helpful. I think the most important thing is the confidence that has to increase and fear should get out of the system. We can face it much more bravely. Thank you so much. I've been very grateful to you.
Thank you, Vijay brother, for giving me the chance. Thank you so much.
No, you really asked. The best part is Dr. Anthony called me and asked me, can I come on to speak to the people so that they should know that it is fear that is killing them. It is not coronavirus. And I said, definitely, please come. You're most welcome. And there today you see so many fears in our head, so many things that we are worried about. Oh my God, if you do this, what happens? If we do that, what happens? Praise God. We thank him and we pray for him very specially, okay? Because he is another person in the front line. You saw Dr. Lucas just now. He was covered right from top to bottom. You could hardly make out it was Dr. Lucas. But see, that is how they are facing what is happening at the hospitals. So let's keep them in our prayers every day. That is very, very important. Okay. Now, we have got 5 minutes more. We have seen a lot of good things happening. You know, Sister Glenda and Dr. Sarah, today they gave in about another 400 packets of food. Many were Filipinos, about